I am many things, things I still do not know, but I do know one thing. I am the recipient of the deepest human love from friends who never stop showing up for me. A few weeks ago, I went to Hong Kong to meet up with some of my friends from college, and now that I'm 4 years out of college, I feel like I've learned a lot about myself, especially when it comes to friendships. So I was talking to my friend Sammy, and she asked me, what is one way that you feel like you've changed the most, like, in the past 4 years, now that we're about to be 4 years out of college? And I think the first way that I answered was the first thing that I said in response was that I'm a lot more nonchalant now. I used to be very chalant. Okay, I used to care so much about everything. But now I just feel like life moves on. It's not a big deal. I used to care so much, but now I just feel like life moves on and it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not that deep and it's going to be okay. But the more I thought about it, the more, now that I'm back in Taiwan and I'm just, thinking about that Hong Kong trip and everything, I feel like another thing that I thought of is I'm a lot more secure in my friendships now. So, hear me out. Since I graduated during a global pandemic, I didn't get many opportunities to travel with my friends post-grad, so I've only been on 2 bigger trips, one to New York last year in April and this one to Hong Kong. Becoming more secure in my friendships hasn't been an easy journey. I've had my fair share of friendship breakups, which I think are a blessing in disguise, but more on that another time. I did a lot of reflecting during and after this trip to Hong Kong on friendships, and a lot of that reflecting started with thinking back to college. My friend group consisted mostly of guys the first couple years of college. It was good until it got a little bit messy with the tropes that we're typically warned about. I don't really regret that season of friendship though. Being friends with them felt so seamless. We'd hang out nearly every day, spend late nights together cramming for tests and finishing projects. They showed me that friendship can be easy. During that time, I did have a couple one-off friendships with girls, and admittedly, those consistently felt like more work. There were mismatched expectations, lots of comparison, and some friendships that were once out of sight quickly became out of mind. One of the guys I was talking to asked me why I didn't seem to get along with most of the girls my age in our college org. It felt like such a blow to be called out like that, but honestly, he wasn't wrong. Up to that point, I had always felt like there was something wrong with me, that in all the friendships that didn't work out, I was the common denominator, so obviously I was the problem. I was in a friendship where I felt blamed time and time again for not being a good enough friend, and that left plenty of scars on my heart. I took their comments to heart, and those words buried deep into my conscience to the point where I felt like being a bad friend was a complete truth and embedded itself into my personality internally. I don't think I'll ever get used to the way time moves and changes and the ways that we continue adapting. Looking back, I know some friends weren't it for me long term. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that there was anything I could have done to change the outcome of our friendship. I know now that friendship breakups were inevitable, but they were meaningful friendships in that moment of time for me still. Towards the latter half of my college years, I gradually got closer to more girls and felt firsthand how warm the embrace of girlhood was. Those friendships didn't come easily. Some of the friendships that I thought would be endgame, bridesmaid level friendships didn't end up lasting, and we've since lost touch. After college, I moved back to SoCal, and all of my friends moved back to the Bay Area. With the raging pandemic and no full-time job offer yet, and basically no friends in my hometown, I slipped into a season of loneliness. I felt self-pity at times that I deserved this loneliness because allegedly friendships are supposed to take a lot of work, and I hadn't worked hard enough to deserve consistent friends. Looking back, those expectations I'd placed on myself seem so silly. Everyone deserves friends that come easy. Everyone deserves love in a way that feels warm, that doesn't take work. Since I was physically so far removed from my friends, it got in my head less often about not being invited to hangouts or on trips. It didn't make sense for them to invite me. I wasn't even living in the same city realistically, so how could I actually be upset over that? I still let myself feel the feelings of disappointment though, especially with the distance, but I did my best to keep in touch with my now long distance friends. Friendship with these girls developed in new ways. A book club where we called every week for nearly over a year, trips to the Bay Area, and staying with friends who had since moved out of their childhood homes. Those always felt like week-long sleepovers. Many group chats, sending each other digital postcards in the form of random funny content that reminded me of them. These friendships seemed too easy, and I wasn't used to this ease in which our friendship developed. Honestly, I was waiting for it to all hit the fan at some point, the way that it had in my past close friendships. After several conversations and late night journal sessions later, I came to the realization that maybe friendships aren't supposed to be that hard. Like having a panic attack after a single interaction kind of hard. These friendships I have now I hold so near and dear to my heart. How lucky I am to have found these people that know me, see me, and still choose to love me. How lucky am I to have countless memories with them worth missing. Sometimes I feel bad for college me. She was okay with settling for less. She was okay with not being treated kindly, and she just took it because she thought that that was was right. Looking back, I wish that I didn't have to go through those experiences, and unfortunately those experiences were growing and they did teach me a lot. It also did lead me to get to connect with other girls who had been in similar situations. I wouldn't wish that kind of push and pull friendship on anyone else. I'm so grateful to have such healthy female friendships now that have taught me so much of what it looks like to love myself and to love others and to give each other our distance and time and space when we need it. Friendship doesn't always have to look like texting each other every single day about every little detail, especially when you're long distance. Now that we're older and we've moved to different places, we have full-time jobs now, we have other things to care about. A lot of my friends are in very committed relationships. Some of them are getting married soon. Friendship just looks different, and I think it's been so wonderful to see how we've all grown and adapted to these seasons of friendship. Growing up and maturing and just being more secure in my friendships has also taught me that friendships will continue to change. As we grow and change as people, our relationships will too. Similar to romantic relationships, I hope my friends and I can grow together rather than apart. I'm so grateful to have crossed paths with them and that I get to experience this form of love in this lifetime. I just truly feel so lucky every time I think about it. And I also wanted to say that if you are currently in a murky spot in your friendships and you haven't found your people yet, I hope that this can encourage you to think about all the people that you haven't met yet, all the friendships that you have yet to form, maybe those connections that you already have but just need a little bit more time to deepen. There's so much more life for you to experience still, and there's so many people that you're going to cross paths with, and I know it's not easy. I've been there, but I just wanted to encourage you and hope that your journey and finding your people, it doesn't end here. So thank you for watching this kind of video diary of mine. I really like this kind of visual storytelling format, so we're gonna try to do more of this style. If you have any, feedback, let me know. The more you know, the more you grow. I'll catch you on the next one. I'll see you when I see you.